Well, to say my next guest has been to hell and back would certainly be an understatement. To think that only 6 years ago he was battling for his life and now he's fulfilling his dream of becoming a harness racing driver, and he certainly ticked that box and more. I caught up with Connor and have a chat about his career. Well, Connor, good to catch up with you. And on a successful note, you've been gradually building towards a win. You've had 3 starts now at Menangle, a third, a second, and now an outstanding win by Elusive.
Yeah, well, I've driven a couple of nice horses here. Miss McGonigal was obviously the first two, and big thrill at such a young age to do that. She was a great mare and really plotted my career and helped me in the big race drives. And now down here today, and Elusive just did what she did. It was real impressive, and I can't thank and appreciate the opportunity to drive such a filly like her.
That third quarter, 26-9, certainly broke the hearts of your rivals.
Yeah, it's funny to say that. Darren Brinskin's been looking after her for a little bit for me, Jeffrey and that, and he was just telling me how to drive the circuit. Obviously, it's been a couple of years since I drove it, and I didn't lead in either of them, so he's just saying how you stir them up a little bit at 800, and then at the cage just having a bit more stirred up again, and I sort of just did that, and even through the second quarter, like I didn't think I was going that quick, and then the third quarter I just sort of brushed that and just had her travelling nice, and she just did that third quarter with ease, and even up the straight, she wasn't all out. She was just doing it pretty easy. It was quite ridiculous, actually.
She's a wonderful performer. 12 starts now for 4 wins and 7 places. That's just an outstanding record.
Yeah, she tries her heart out. She's a great little filly. She's easy. No boots, free legs, open bridle. She's just the best thing to work with. Just kept running that second placings. There was a bit of a laugh about it, but when she broke through, she keeps trying, and she knows how to win now.
Colin, Miss McGonigal, third to Majida in the Group 2 Robin Dundee, and then second to Stylish Memphis in the Group 1 Ladyship Mile.
Yeah, it's an incredible thrill coming up the drive, in those big races, and to run placings in it, at the top of the straight, and in the Ladyship Mile, thinking I was nearly going to win it, but it was still crazy just to run second in it. It was in that quick time. It was a great experience, and once again, she's done a lot for me, that mare, and made me a driver who I am.
6 years ago, you were certainly fighting for your life, and at the stage you didn't know that the doctors had told your parents you had a 30% chance of getting through what you had, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a rare cancer.
Yeah, exactly. When I was 14, played basketball, I played footy, I swam, I did all sports after school. I was very busy, and including the horses as well. Yeah, I was real busy, and just got that lower back pain, and just thought it was a sport injury for a long time until I was playing footy for the school, and several games, and it just got worse and worse, and I had to go to the hospital the following night, and just because I just couldn't even lay down with the pain I was in, and found out it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it just was everywhere with that rarity, even though I didn't know what the rarity it was to live, but it's just huge to overcome that and be where I am today.
Connie, you said your MRI lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, it was everywhere. Like, the pain was in my lower back, but it was everywhere, just like in my body. It was just like the last stage, and it looked quite unstoppable, and that explains the 30% success rate of curing it. But thank God my body reacted well and kept positive, and that's where I am today.
6 months in the Melbourne Royal Children's Hospital, and what a fantastic job they did looking after you, and what they do with all the patients.
Yeah, exactly. No, they've done an amazing job. They have that cancer ward there for the kids and that, and it's, all the wards, not just the cancer ward, but, you've got all those good nurses, and all the money that goes into it certainly helps. And, so Royal Children helped, and so did, I've lost it now, but the Older Cancer Institute as well, which actually is where my chemo come from, because my cancer is found in older people. So, between those two, they saved my life 100%.
You love your AFL, and you received a couple of special visits.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a mad Adelaide Crows supporter, and the following year, we were playing in the grand final and against Richmond, and so I saw texting at the football a couple of times when I was a bit better and I could go into the footy, and Basher Hawley, and there was another one as well. Definitely Basher Hawley. A couple of Richmond players come in and saw us because I had a good mate in there. He's mad Richmond and I was mad Adelaide, and we both made the grand final. So that was something to look forward to too. That was real good, and it was real good of them to come pop in and do something to put a smile on all our faces.
You described your setback as a hiccup because you were determined to become a harness racing driver.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of my biggest things. I was positive right through, for a kid that was down in the bed and, very crook, and, I was always positive and determined that I was going to get out the other side and do what I always dreamed of. So I think that was a big positive and what helped me get through it.
Connie, you received 2 special gifts. One was from the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Yeah, Make-A-Wish actually got me first Red Avenger cart, which I still with wheels, and I still use that today. So they helped kickstart my career, which can't be any more thankful for as well.
Unfortunately, your great-grandmother just passed away recently in the 90s, but she provided you with an item that turned you into a harness racing form student.
Yeah, great nana, Beryl, my pa's mum on dad's side. Yeah, she was, we were always real close with her and went down to Warrnambool and stayed with her a lot. And when I got sick, she helped with that and gave me an iPad, which went into doing a lot of form and watching races and into the breeding side of it. And yeah, I did a bit of everything. She was very good to me, and she lived a good life, and can't be thankful for that enough.
Kind of the harness racing industry does it better than anyone else as far as looking after their own. The Ballarat Harness Racing Club, the Ballarat community certainly got behind the family.
Yeah, the whole harness racing community, Ballarat, even up here, Maria Fennell done a fundraiser for me and made a video with my favourite drivers at the time, with Amanda Turnbull and Jack Trainer and Luke McCarthy and all that. So the whole harness racing industry, that it's just amazing how tight we are, and when tough times come like this, we're all there for each other no matter what.
Connie, you started out like so many youngsters in harness racing with the pony trots, and while still at school you had the chance to work with Andy Gath. How did that come about?
Yeah, Andy Gath, I suppose he's just always at the races and going to the races a lot as a kid, to being there as much as possible, even travelling to races with James Herbertson after school, getting out of school at lunchtime to go to the races with him. So I saw him a fair bit, and yeah, then Dad also helped me as well organise it, and went there for a few holidays, and went on to a couple other places as well, which you're about to mention. So
yeah, you're a third generation harness racing, following in the footsteps of your grandfather Jim, and also your dad Stephen, who's still a very successful trainer.
Yeah, Jim, my grandfather, still helps Dad out in the morning as Dad works night shift. So Dad's still got a couple of horses, works a few horses, and Pa's always out there, checking the waters and helping feed up and do all that, and helping Dad while none of us are there. And obviously I'm working for Jeff, so. But yeah, Pa's still really big in it, and obviously Dad's still trained, and he'll jump on one here and there if I'm too busy or something. But yeah, no, I'm grateful for that, and yeah, no, very passionate family.
Kind of one thing about harness racing, it's a wonderful family sport.
Yeah, it's a wonderful family sport. Dad and Pa do that, and then Nan, both Nan and Pa's, they're always been support, and Nan watches all our races. She even has a friend that she's got to drop races down for to watch my race drives. So, and Mum's washing me colours and me white pants for me. I couldn't do it without her either. It's just all together, like you couldn't do it without any of them. So, yeah, it's one of those type of sports. It's a great sport.
You had the opportunity of a lifetime when you became involved with the great and unfortunately late, the legend Gavin Lang.
Yeah, I got to stay with Gavin Lang after working at Andy Gath, and went there for a bit, and Dad got me the opportunity, and Gavin jumped right at it, and yeah, stayed at his house with him and Megan, working horses, and learned how he went about it. He taught me a lot, and you'd ask questions and he would answer. But he'd allow you to not stop you, allow you to make a mistake, and then he'd be able to explain it to you. He's very good at that, and I'm forever grateful for that. And he just treated me like a son. So when he passed, it was pretty hard on me, because I was going there to the school holidays, and he's never really had one of those, like a close son, So he just had Megan, his daughter. So being there, and he was always real talkative, and after that, and just living with him, it was very close to my heart when he passed away.
Con, if there's one thing you still live with today that you learned from Gavin, what would that be?
I don't know. I got a saying. He said to me, well, it's more or less not driving, but more training. And that, he said, as long as if the key to success with them is you work them hard and you feed them good. And that's one sentence that stuck right out in my head when we were making feeds in the feed room one day. But just how good of a driver he was, and he just teach you little things, and that's one thing that stands out. But there's plenty of others.
You then had the opportunity to work with Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonke, so your resume just keeps continuing to build, and very impressively.
Yeah, I worked at Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin. They provided me with my first winner and my first Metro winner, and a couple of Group 1 drives too as well. So, that I've worked for them for a few years, learned a fair bit off them, and Clayton was always good to talk to with form. And Tom Hogan, who just passed away, had a couple of horses with them, and he was happy to help me with form analyst and gate speed on those type of horses. So. That was a big part of my life as well. It just keeps growing, who you learn from, and to be where I've been is just incredible.
That horse in question was Struve, who no doubt will forever be in your very fond memories.
Yeah, I love that horse. Every time I jumped on him, he's a bit funny sometimes for other people, but every time I jumped on him, he just seemed to give 100%, and he's just a real genuine horse for me. Providing that first win and then my first proper Metro, so he was just a real good horse to me, and he'll always be there.
Connor, to complete this outstanding resume, this portfolio you've been building, you're now with one of another legend, Jeff Webster.
Yeah, Jeff. I drove for Jeff a fair bit earlier last year, and I was driving Cobber before, and a few others, Doug's Bay, before she went to America. So I drove a fair bit for him, and when it came to make the move, I moved to Jeff's, and Jeff's given me lots of opportunities before and now while I'm working for him, so I can't thank him enough and his owners.
Apart from harness racing, you also love your greyhounds, and you've got a date with Destiny coming up very shortly.
Yeah, got a few greyhounds. A lot of them I own full myself, and I had one who's quite successful. He was about to go to the city before he broke down and sadly had to pass away. But currently got a dog going around with a few other harness racing mates and a couple other mates, which is good. So just a quarter of a share in it, and so he's going around in the semi-final of the $1 Million Chase, which is real big, and we're all real excited. So can't wait.
You've owned some greyhounds as pets, and you've also owned another one called Out to Glory, which was the name of a very outstanding performer back in the days with Brian Hancock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just thought of it. It was him, and I was working with Out for Play at the time, and just sort of stood out to me, and named him, and he won a fair few races for me, and like I said, he's probably about to be a city performer before he broke down. So he's probably going to be a real quick kickstart of a greyhound, and second, and then this next fella, Nora's boy, obviously he's probably the next one, even though I own a smaller share in him.
Connor, you're a cool, calm, collected customer in the sulky, but as a watcher of greyhound racing, you get a bit nervous when your dogs go around.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. I can, when I watch them, I've missed the odd one, but when I'm watching them live, especially, if they jump the front or look like it, I can get a bit excited. One day I was watching one. Me and Pa and I had one. Jim had one probably a few months back. Good Fernbank Flyer, and we were on the way to another race meet from a double header, and she raced, so we were watching that race, and we heard her jump first over the radio, and we got quite excited. And when she got over the line first, it was that's another one that really stood out to me. Like, she ran a lot of placings, and she was an honest little dog for Pa and I, so that was real good.
Colin, it's been great to catch up with you, and we look forward to seeing you back in action with Elusive in the coming weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back here in the coming, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday for the semis.